The girlfriends are discussing the events that happened the day before. It's all people have been talking about lately. A young man driving a motorcycle is talking on the phone. He tells his buddy about his conversation with his boss. The boss was shocked, but if you ask him for a raise, the boss will agree. The guy looked around and said that this neighborhood he was in was a hole. There are only homeless people here. A young man walked past him. The sloppily dressed man looked around. He couldn't figure out where he was. His appearance attracted the attention of passers-by. The air was stinky, and there was a noise on all sides that could be deafening. This was definitely not the kingdom in which he lived. The guy didn't know what this place was, but it certainly wasn't an illusion. It looked too real. Passers-by looked back at him and thought, what kind of a poor guy showed up here? Could it be a bum? The young man urgently needed to find out where he was. A stranger stands in the middle of a busy street. He thinks it's awfully noisy. Emperor of the Flame. Anyone who called Emperor Yomu by that name was doomed to perish. Everyone who fought him had no doubt that he was the Flame Emperor. He knew neither pity nor tears. He appeared as a man, but he was no longer a man. Wherever he went, he was followed by the bloody trail of his victims. No one dared follow his path, for he was none other than the god of destruction. He destroyed the supreme master of the dark path Muram and forced the heavenly demon cult leader to kneel. For these feats, he was considered the pinnacle of skill among light and dark warriors. He became known as the god of martial arts. Emperor Yomu watches a small village nestled in the middle of the forest from the top of a cliff. Now his past is like a dream. He thought his life could be nothing but blood and violence. The girl turned her uncle's attention to something beautiful. The interlocutor said he did not understand. Does the girl see beauty in these petals of the holy? The girl wondered, does this uncle not know what joy is? Joy is when you laugh and dance with happiness, even if there's no particular reason for it. Someday the man would probably understand, but for now, she would share her joy with him. The girl handed the man a dandelion flower. The boy scrutinized it carefully. Meeting this girl melted his heart, and he suddenly knew what tears and laughter were. He didn't know that joy would ever appear in his life of chaos and evil. The girl has found her happiness in life. But what should he do? Should he too go in search of happiness? Or should he not get carried away with laughter and tears? Happiness? Had he really achieved eternal immortality? The young man opened his eyes. Where is he? The emperor couldn't understand because he had just been on his way to immortality. Or had someone put an illusion on him and he hadn't noticed? The emperor thought that he should be looking for a way out of here anyway. The cave was dark and uninhabited. Emperor Yoma decided he had to get out and assess the situation. Behind our hero appeared the huge head of a monster. Alpha Team is requested to enter portal A012809 immediately. If they see anything suspicious, they are to report immediately. Their task is to conduct reconnaissance. They must be sure to return alive. The Alpha Team moved cautiously deeper into the cave. One of the team members said that it seemed to be a Class A portal, but it was relatively quiet. The colleague wondered, did this guy really not remember anything? Was he asleep during the briefing? Class A portals are home to the most intelligent monsters. It had been 5 years since Group Zero guardsmen had died in a similar situation. They went far into the portal, and there was a whole darkness of monsters waiting for them. No one survived. Group Zero was completely wiped out back then. Blood was everywhere, and no one could assess what had happened. The guy scratched the back of his head and apologized to his colleague for his ignorance. There was a command not to move. A strange glow appeared from the depths of the cave. The girl was surprised. She didn't even feel the presence of this monster. When did it have time to appear? The Class A monster lurked as if it pretended to be undead. The girl who was the commander of this squad told everyone to retreat. She would try to hold the monster back. However, that monster did not show any signs of life. There was no limit to the young people's astonishment. What had happened here? The Alpha Team came on the line and reported that many dead Class A Cyclops and Class B monsters were found in the cave. All of the higher monsters have been destroyed. The Alpha Team continues to scout and will report in a timely manner. The guy told the commander that he had reported the situation to the center. The girl praised him. Guy speculated maybe these monsters were fighting each other. The commander said that even if so, the Cyclops couldn't have been injured by inferior monsters. So, another guild was hunting in this place. After all, guilds only Rahal portals these days. The commander found this interesting. Is there really a guild in this country that hunts wherever it wants, and no one knows about it? After crossing the portal, Emperor Yomu found himself in an open space. There were city ruins all around. What is this place? He thought. Opening his eyes, the emperor realized he was in a cave full of monsters. I wonder why these monsters that he could destroy with a single blow were pouncing on him. How did he manage to find a way out? Looking around, the emperor thought, what kind of ruins are these? Were there any living beings left in them? Not far away lay human remains. The emperor took off the skeleton's clothes and put them on himself. It was better than nothing. Emperor Yomu once again found himself in an unfamiliar place. There was only dirt, ruins, and weathered remains. Our hero felt no signs of life around him. The emperor had encountered the celestial demon cult. Their mages used forbidden magic. He felt something like that now. Yumu could sense the surroundings from such magic, but he should have looked around before applying his power here. The guy thought that the first thing he needed to do was get out of here. The young man decided to go where the black energy was least. Choosing the right direction, he resolutely rushed towards his designated goal. It was reported on television that the Awakened Association had not yet expressed a clear position on the incident. There are discussions going on about this portal in various countries where there are zero-level awakened ones. The young men were in a restaurant. One of them asked when they would finally be served chong. The waitress girl said she was already carrying. It was the senior manager of Yongchungak restaurant, Lim So-young. Lim So-young put the food on the table and wished the young people a pleasant appetite. The door opened and a young man entered the restaurant. The senior manager got excited and said that she hadn't seen this guy in the restaurant for a long time. The young man said hello and ordered asking for a plate of chaje. It was the director of the Awakened Association, Yunho. Lim So-young said that the director looked tired. Does he really feel bad? Baek Yunho asked if the girl had seen with today's news. Another portal opened in the undead lands. The guilds are fighting over this portal, and they're just burning out on the job trying to put out this conflict. They're under a lot of pressure to get their hands on that portal. Everyone's after the magic stones. Recently, there have been a lot more accidents during raids with the food. Restaurant director Yusai showed up and said he agreed. Portals keep multiplying. However, for them, this has an upside. More magic stones on the market means lower prices. The restaurant manager added that the monsters don't please them at all and they're not getting as many customers. Baek Yunho agreed. But at a time like this, who dares to leave the house? A guy on a motorcycle walked into the restaurant. He nervously said he couldn't take it anymore. Showing the information from his smartphone, he said another portal had opened and he couldn't work like this anymore. The restaurant manager, Yusante, told him to calm down and not to yell in front of customers. After all, he's already gotten a double pay raise. Wouldn't he be more friendly? The guy replied that it was unbelievable. Is his life really worth that pittance? He can't work like this anymore. Either the director will give him another raise, or he can look for another courier. Yu sung indignant. How dare he do such a thing? They were all having a hard time. The courier stood his ground. Either his salary would be raised, or he would leave. Yin told Lim So-young that it was time to pick up Ho Yui. Should she go get the girl? Lim So-young was surprised because it wasn't time yet. Yin said that we should hurry up so that we won't be late. Lim So-young replied that she understood and left. The restaurant director thought that a lot of people were moving because of the new portals. Many people were afraid for their lives. It has become very difficult to find workers. So this rascal is so brazen. Yin just settled here. He doesn't want to leave. The director looked at the brazen courier who was staring at his smartphone. Why can't we find any decent couriers these days? Emperor Yomu found himself in a place where there was no negative energy. At the moment, he was in the center of a city he didn't know. His clothes made passers-by look away from him. The boy thought that this place was nothing like his homeland. But there are similarities. Many people have an inner energy. Yumu looked at the woman holding the hand of a little girl. They were talking quietly about something. This girl's energy made her stand out from the crowd. So, the child caught our hero's eye. Yumu thought that the girl had pure energy. Does that mean this child knows something? Suddenly, a strong wind blew and the woman grabbed her daughter's hand tighter. A gust of wind blew the girl's hair off her head. The girl let go of her mother's hand and rushed after the headband. Lim So-young shouted for Han not to run away. It could be dangerous. However, the girl didn't listen. Han shouted that it was a gift from her dad and ran out into the driveway to get the headband. Han picked up the thing from the road and rejoiced. At that moment, a car was speeding down the road. The girl did not see it. The driver did not have time to stop. The headband flew into the air again. Lim So-young flinched and shouted loudly. The passers-by also shrieked in surprise. Suddenly, someone's hands reached for the girl. Han saw the car, and fear appeared in her eyes. A young man who appeared from nowhere picked up the little girl in his arms and literally carried her out from under the wheels of the car. The girl's savior turned out to be Emperor Yumru. Leaving the roadway, the guy told the child that she had almost been hit by a car. He asked how the girl was feeling. The young man let go of the child, and the girl ran towards her mother. They were both frightened. Lim So-young bowed to the unknown young man and thanked him. She didn't even know how she could repay the guy for saving her daughter. The young man said he wasn't grateful. He was glad the child wasn't hurt. Our hero has given the girl energy for her nervous system. Now she can handle it. Lim, so young, offered to help the rescuer get to the hospital. The guy replied that he was fine. Yomu looked at the woman and only now remembered the last time he had eaten. Before getting here, Yomu ate one dumpling. The rescued girl pulled the guy's clothes and said her daddy was a cook. She suggested we go out to eat together. Lim So-young said that they are really inviting the good man to eat with them. It's not like he should go hungry. He saved her daughter, and the least she can do is feed her. The boy began to refuse. He had done what he had to do, and not at all for the reward. But his stomach continued to treacherously. Finally, he agreed. The restaurant manager was terrified. Did his daughter Ha-yin almost get hit by a car? Yusant walked up to the girl and asked how she was feeling. Isn't she in pain? Should they go to the hospital? Lim So-young said that the girl was fine. Lim So-young said that their daughter was saved by this man. She would like to feed him, so they came together. Yin walked up to the guy and started shaking his hand. He said that he was very grateful for saving Hound. He can order whatever he wants in this restaurant. The emperor was confused and thanked the director. Hound went up to the emperor and said that her dad had warned her. You can't sit at the table dirty. Yumu remembered the clothes he was wearing, and he felt uneasy. It was the clothes he had taken off the corpse. Yusent offered the young man a shower while he prepared the food. The restaurant director also offered the emperor clean clothes. Yusent said that he had put on a little weight, and these clothes wouldn't fit him anyway. They're about the same height, so this will probably fit. The director added that socks seemed to be needed as well. Yumu found himself in the bathroom. He had been told there was a shower in here. The walls glistened brightly. Where's the well? The emperor called the master and said that he would not have enough of the water that was in that well. Yusent was surprised. After all, he has no well. The emperor pointed to the toilet bowl and said that he would not be able to wash himself with such a small amount of water. The interlocutor smiled and said that it was not a well, it was a toilet bowl. The emperor was surprised. Does the master mean to say that this is a latrine? Young confirmed that it was the same water as the tap water, but the purpose of use was different. Yusant said that the young man wanted to take a shower. You have to turn this lever, and water will come from the top of the watering can. After a second, the principal said, we have to catch the watering can, otherwise everything around will be in water. Our hero thought, what is that snake spitting water? Having overcome all the domestic obstacles, Emperor Yomu finally took a shower and wiped himself dry. He was now in clean clothes. The guest told his host that he was feeling very well and thanked him for his help. Yusentai, wiping up the water on the floor, was also glad that the water treatment was over. The host said he didn't want to offend the guest, but he wondered where the young man came from. It was as if he was seeing a bathroom for the first time in his life. The protagonist wondered how he could explain everything to his interlocutor. Yes thought that their guest might have memory loss and shared his assumption with his wife. The emperor, while at the table, said that he only had fragments of memory, but he had absolutely no recollection of how he ended up here. Young Tai said, so that's why the young man was dressed like that. Looks like that cave the guy came out of is one of the portals. Yumu wondered which portal he was talking about. These are doors to another dimension that once started opening in this world, but they still don't know what they are. These doors open and close for no apparent reason. Sometimes people get sucked into a portal and are left to survive alone until the door closes again. They usually lose their memory. In severe conditions, they lose their memory completely and may lose socialization skills. Such people are called isolationists. Yu Sang said that he would explain everything later, but right now we should eat before the food gets cold. Yumu picked up his plate from the table and thanked his hosts. The boy looked at the contents of the plate and wondered what it was. He thought the color of this food was suspicious. The color of the food reminded him of the time when he was undergoing initiation. To survive, he had to drink dirty, standing water with blood and corpses. Hyun asked why Uncle didn't eat. Does he not like black noodles? The emperor asked how to eat black noodles. The girl stuck the chopsticks into the plate and told me to stir them and then spoon the noodles over. Hound rolled the noodles onto the sticks and held them out to the young man, telling Uncle to gobble. Yumu carefully brought the noodles to his lips and sniffed this food first. Changgang Myong, it looks a little strange, but the flavor is great. He's never had it anywhere else. Yui watched the guests handle the food and said that he wanted to treat the young man to something better. But it was late and there were no groceries at home. Lim So-young added that they would definitely treat the young man to something better next time. The emperor asked the hosts for another plate of this dish. Ha-yin laughed and said that Uncle had gotten dirty again. Saying goodbye, our hero thanked his host for such a hearty meal. Yoon-gai said that there was no need for gratitude. The young man should definitely drop by their place anytime he wanted Shijanjiang. Yumu saw a strange leaf pasted on the wall and wondered what the writing on the leaf meant. The restaurant manager replied that they were looking for an employee to deliver their food to their destination. They had had couriers, but all of them demanded too much pay. So now they urgently needed a new courier. Yumu asked the ad said with accommodation. Does that mean they'll give the courier a room? Young Tai nodded affirmatively. After all, there aren't many people willing to work. The protagonist thought he needed to settle down somewhere, since he couldn't go back to his world yet. This suggestion was very timely. He would work, and at the same time, learn how the world works. The emperor asked the restaurant manager if he could get a job working as a courier. Young Tai was surprised. Would a young man really want to do that? He scratched his head and said that they would be very grateful. But the thing was that hiring isolationists involved legal difficulties. Lim So-young said to her husband, "After all, this man saved their daughter. We should try to help him." The wife added that she had heard that a citizen could become a guarantor for an isolationist. The woman added that this was a fateful meeting. "We have to vouch for this guy, and he will be their courier." The husband, after thinking about it, said that his wife was right. There's indeed such a way. Young told the young man that he agreed and would vouch for him. The emperor bowed, thanked, and said he would try very hard. Emperor Yamu introduced himself to his new acquaintance and said his name was Kong Seo, and he was 35 years old. Yusani was surprised that Kong Seo was his age and looked much younger. The restaurant manager suggested that since they were the same age, they could use the word you. Kango replied that he would be happy to work for UI. The girl suggested calling Uncle Kong Seo. This name will remind him to smile more often. The boy replied that she certainly makes up names like that. The girl said that the name was very beautiful, meaning wide smile. The emperor took the girl's hand and said that he agreed to bear the name Kong Seo. Night had fallen over the city. A full moon shone in the sky. A flock of crows sat on the wires. The ravens were not ordinary. Their eyes glowed like demons. They were watching the house where the emperor had settled from above. The emperor, in a separate room provided for him, was performing a meditation ritual. The protagonist thought that there was a lot of pure energy in this world. There are many objects in the household of these people that are difficult for him to even imagine. It is unclear what their purpose is. It's a real world of wonder. The door to the room opened. Young stood on the threshold. The landlord wondered, why is Kong Seo sitting in the dark? Kong Seo replied that he couldn't find a lamp in the darkness, so he sat like that. He realized that he needed to teach the boy how to turn on the light. He went to the light switch and demonstrated it. Our hero was very interested. Lim So-young appeared and wondered why their guest was up so early. Kong Seo asked if Lim So-young was heading to the kitchen to cook. Young said that they will be opening an establishment soon. They have a lot of work to do. Our hero offered to help the lady of the house. Yang Ti wondered if the boy was ready to work already since he could still sleep. He was embarrassed to make Kong Seo work overtime. Kong Seo replied that he just wanted to repay his host with kindness for kindness. Yungai asked the guy to clean up in that case. The owner took out a vacuum cleaner and said that this device would make cleaning easier. It's called a vacuum cleaner. It was the first time Kong Seo had held such a device in his hands. You have to press that button over there, and this device will suck up dust and dirt. Young T continued to instruct. Now you have to introduce the device on the floor like a mop. It's very easy. Kong Seo was trying to solve the issue of his long hair being sucked inside this mop. He smiled and said his daughter helped him out sometimes too. Yuang Ti looked at the guest and was surprised. His facial expression and hairstyle were very strange. Kong Seo said he was fine. Yusen remarked that the vacuum cleaner, though old, sucks in a lot, so you have to be careful. The owner of the restaurant says it's time for him to get to work in the kitchen, so he leaves the young man here alone. Kengo thought he had a mission. He needed to get out, but this device was quite dangerous. As always, in such cases, the protagonist decided to use magic. This method always worked without fail. Kengo began to systematically spread magic throughout the room. Dust, debris, and various harmful substances were activated and collected in one place. The trash can seem to our hero the most optimal place to collect all the harmful substances from this room. When the dust was done, we could move on to water procedures. Thanks to magic, the water spread throughout the room. All surfaces, even hard-to-reach places, were scrubbed. When Yusai looked into the room, the cleaning was done. Our hero said that he thought it was a good job. Kong Seo said that he cleaned up in his own way and hoped that UT wouldn't mind. The host was surprised. Did his guest really have such an ability? Kong Seo interjected. If Yuang Ti meant controlling the element of water, then that was his ability. But what was the big deal? Yuang Tai wondered if Kango was a highly awakened person. It's the name given to people who have awakened. This process began 25 years ago when portals began to open. These abilities are also called aura. Such people possess telekinesis and other hard-to-explain things such as various elemental magic. Depending on how well a person manages their aura, they are assigned class. The higher the class, the higher the status and influence in society. Yusank added that he had once worked as a loader and there were awakened ones among the staff. But no one he had seen in his life was as skilled at wielding aura as Kong Seo. This guy's talents have no reason to languish in this restaurant. You should get a job as a hunter in the guild and make a decent living there. Kango told the interviewer that he has no plans to become a hunter for humane reasons. There was confidence in Kong Seo's eyes, and he wasn't going to change his mind. Yang Ti was surprised. It's just that the guy doesn't understand what life is like in this country yet. Here, high-level awakened ones live like nobles. Kango said that after saying that, he felt even less like becoming a hunter. Kanjio told his interlocutor that he had tasted wealth and honor in his life, but he realized too late how perishable it all was. Yang looked at his interlocutor and asked, was his memory coming back to him? Kong Seo said he used to live in a completely different world. One day, however, he fell into oblivion and woke up in one of those portals that his interlocutor had mentioned. He got out and reached the city, and he was looking for pure energy. It just so happened that he saw a girl with pure energy in the city. Kango added that he saved Han, who was almost hit by the wheels of an iron wagon. Yes said that this explained a lot about his guest behavior. Kango apologized and said he didn't mean to deceive those people. I guess I should have told the truth right away. Yinny expressed regret and said that Kong Seo had been through a lot. It must have been very scary for him to be in a completely foreign world. Kango wondered if Yusant believed these stories. The interlocutor said that if he were him, he wouldn't have been able to tell it all at once either. The restaurant owner offered to tell everyone that his guest was an isolationist just in case. But Kong Seo should definitely think twice about checking for superpowers. In that case, Kong Seo's life might take a turn for the better. Awaken Support Unit Team 1. Sun Jinho's name has been broadcast. The man looked up. Was it really him being summoned? A colleague said, has he been at work all night again? It's not long before he's playing in a box. Jinho was frustrated. What was the need? Why did she come to nag him again? Kim Yong-hai from the second team of the inspection department asked what was going on with him that he had to work all night. Jinho stretched. He is restless with the matter of A012809. He has no idea which end to take it from. The girl handed her interlocutor the paper she held in her hands and told him to familiarize himself with them. He's still looking for that Awakened Zero class, isn't he? Jinho read it and was surprised. Kim Yong-hai said that the chairman ordered her to close the case. That was exactly what was stated in the papers he had just received from his interlocutor. Jinho wondered, did the principal really not want them to find an Awakened Class 0? Jinho clutched his head. How could this be possible? Myong-hai replied that it was the chairman's order. Jinho was perplexed because for the first time ever, their country had a chance to obtain their Awakened Zero class. Myong-hai noticed because they still haven't found that person and everyone knows about it, although they aren't even sure if it's possible to destroy them with their bare hands. They both remembered those destroyed Cyclops, and it was done by one man. Maybe it wasn't even human. Jinho, nervous, said that it was definitely done by a human. He analyzed all the wounds of the monsters inside the gate. It was the mark of one man's fist judging from the fingerprints. He checked several times, and the result was the same. This is their only chance. If they find this awakened one, the country will finally take its rightful place among the alliance of allied countries. Mungi wondered, what if they search for him, but never catch him? The interlocutor told Mungi not to worry. They will definitely find him. They have no other way out. The girl waved her hand and said that she would take over the chairman and he should conduct his investigation as quickly as possible. Jinho thanked the girl for her diligence and understanding. Jinho started to pack. Mungi said she had an appointment. She will have lunch with her younger brother. They haven't seen each other for a long time. Jinho said it's the one who is the paramedic Kim from the sanitary unit. The girl suggested her interlocutor to join them. Jinho refused. Not this time. He'll buy something at the store and have lunch here. Young-hai said they would be meeting at a famous restaurant not far from here, but she didn't ask what kind of cuisine was there. Jinho said he guesses which famous restaurant nearby he's talking about. At the very least, he knows an establishment that department head Bike would recommend. After all, their department head is a serious taster. Myung-hai stated that her brother told her that the restaurant was also recommended to him by the department head. Jinho suggested, then, that this was most likely the place that Mr. Bayak was so fond of. Mangy stood under the signboard and couldn't remember the name of that restaurant. Was it Spring Pavilion? Her brother came up to the girl and said that he had wanted to have lunch here with her for a long time. Chan Jiang is unbelievable. Kim Yong-jin, the chief paramedic of the first group, asked, could it be that the sister doesn't like Cha Jang Myung? Myung y objecta. After all, she's going out to eat with her little brother. Of course, she'll like this dish. The girl thought she wanted to take her brother to a high-end restaurant, but it turned out like this. Opening the door of the establishment, Myung-hai told her brother that she was hungry and really liked Cha Jang Mong. Myung-hai wondered what restaurant department head Beck recommended to everyone. The cooking here must be really good if he likes this cuisine so much. The young men entered the restaurant. There were no customers. Lim So-young, The head receptionist said hello and offered to take any table they liked. The receptionist said it was a self-service restaurant and motioned for them to follow her. Myung-hae was a little discouraged. Lim So-young left the menu on the table and told her to be called when the young men decided on their order. Mungi wondered, is this really a good restaurant? Why is it so empty? Mongjin told his sister to stop being nervous. He guarantees that the food here is really good. The guy handed his sister the menu and told her to make a choice. He was sure she'd like it. Myung-jin said he had already made a choice. It would naturally be Changmong. Sister said she would order the same. Lim So-young walked over and asked if the young people were ready to order. Mongjin said they wanted 1 pork and sweet and sour sauce. He also asked to bring 2 servings of cha-jang-mong. The receptionist smiled and said she would give the gallant young man another portion of dumplings on the house. Mungi didn't like this restaurant. The sister wondered if her brother had become so sociable. Mongjin replied that it was just basic politeness. The paramedic asked how the nurse was doing. I guess they're in the middle of an emergency because of the class portal incident. Pouring herself some warm water, the sister replied that the headache was the least that had haunted her since the incident. Mongjin wanted to know the details. This incident has attracted a lot of attention. If they don't find the only awakened Zero class in years, their association will never recover from this reputational blow at all. However, the chairman ordered the case to be closed. However, her colleague in the support department vowed to find the awakened one by any means necessary. The brother assumed his sister was having a hard time. The easiest thing to do, of course, is to close the case. But how can you pass up an opportunity like this? She and her colleague Jin-ho are certainly making life difficult for themselves. The girl stopped half-heartedly and looked around anxiously. Her brother asked, "What was the matter?" Myung-hae felt some strange energy. The girl thought that man standing to the side was emitting an incredibly powerful aura. But why hadn't she felt anything until now? Yet, there had just been a surge of aura. Myung-hae's aura detection ability worked on this person. But in 1 second, a terrifying torrent of power flowed out from him. Could he really hide his aura so quickly? If the girl wasn't mistaken, this guy was at least a class. In terms of level, he might even be comparable to the Zero class awakened one they were looking for. Lim So-young brought the order. 2 servings of cha-jang-myeon pork and sweet and sour sauce and dumplings on the house. The administrator wished them a pleasant appetite. The young men said thank you. Myung-jin said that everything looked appetizing. Myung-hae agreed and said that it does look very appetizing. The girl tasted the dark noodles, and maybe she was just dreaming because she was a class 0 awakened person is here. Who would believe such a thing? The girl said that her brother was crazy. Mongjin was upset. Didn't his sister like it? The girl asked why he hadn't brought her here before. This is a delicious dish. It's simply marvelous. How could you not trust this place? Mongjin smiled. His sister had scared him. He thought she wouldn't like it. The young men were happily finishing their food. Myung-hae said that this chanjeong is so delicious that it's almost criminal. Kango thought that one of the guests of the place had an exceptional sense of aura. He was playing with the owner's daughter at the time. Kango looked at the visitors and thought that their energy was different. But both of them could be called masters. I guess these are what they call the awakened. We must be careful not to give away the level of our aura. We must learn more about the awakened ones. After the restaurant closed, Kong Seo used his ability to interact with the water element. Kong Seo, using his method again, cleaned up the room. It was still not as clean as he would have liked, but it was fine. He was still getting used to life in this world. But the kind owners of the place had already taught him a lot. Now, he knew that this was not a well, but a toilet. Not the first time, but he learned how to use the shower. Our hero realized that there was still a lot he didn't know. However, with time, he would learn everything. Kango knew that there was no hurry. The emperor decided that he should learn more about the awakened ones. Our hero heard a strange loud sound coming from outside, leaping out of the room. What could that growling be? He thought. The director, Yusu and I, was standing outside the place. He said that Kong Seo showed up just in time. He had something he wanted to show me. Kango asked Yuang Ti what that strange sound was. Was it really coming from that thing? Young Ti confirmed and said it was a riding device called a motorcycle. The motorcycle will be needed by the guy in his job as a courier. You still have to learn how to ride a motorcycle, and that will take time. But Kong Seo can get used to it for now. Young Ti gave the interlocutor a motorcycle helmet and told him to put on. A motorcycle is very fast, so it is very dangerous. The rider needs protection. A helmet is such a helmet. Kango thought that it was almost like the helmets that warriors wear. Yuantai said that if a guy wore a helmet, he could sit behind him. Kango said it was like he was getting on a horse. Ui agreed. It was something like that. However, this is where the resemblance to a horse ends. The motorcycle is much faster, but don't be intimidated. You told the passenger to hold on tightly and the motorcycle started to rapidly pick up speed after touching down. The driver asked if the passenger was getting motion sickness on this ride. Kango asked, "Does the courier really have to travel only on that?" Yui asked if the person he was talking to was afraid. If he's afraid of riding a motorcycle, he shouldn't be working in the delivery business. There is no other means of traveling quickly through the narrow alleys, Kango thought. So, the goal is specifically fast food delivery. Kango wondered if it was too slow and the motorcycle is too noisy. He decided that he could move much faster with the body lightning technique. The motorcycle stopped, and Young Tai suggested walking the neighborhood. Most of their customers live in this apartment complex. The apartment complex is called Azure. There's a number on the side of the house. It's a sector number. The first digit of the apartment number shows what floor it is on. Kanjio said he had a question. Yusa and I said that this city is very dangerous to live in. It's full of monsters. Then why don't people leave this place? Young replied that it was dangerous here, but not to the point where people were willing to abandon their homes. 25 years ago, the first monsters appeared. It was impossible to live in this town then. But soon people realized that with the help of magic stones, protective barriers can be created around cities. Therefore, this city is relatively safe. Kong CEO asked his interlocutor, "What are magic stones?" He replied, "It's something like the nuggets that people find in the bodies of destroyed monsters. There's so much energy in them that they have begun to replace the energy carriers of the past. Thanks to them, there's been a leap in the development of science. But that doesn't mean that the streets are completely safe. In any case, caution should be exercised." Yong Ti opened a can of soda and offered his interlocutor a drink. Kong CEO was surprised. This object made a strange sound. "What is it?" Yusani offered to try it. He said that this drink should be liked. It was unlikely that Kong CEO had ever tasted such a thing. After tasting the drink from the jar, Kong CEO thought it was something unknown again. He was wary of tasting it, but on the other hand, he was also afraid to eat Shijanjiang. At first, Kong CEO felt a spicy sweetness that refreshed and spilled throughout his body. It is like the enlightenment that comes upon a person like lightning after long and hard work. Kango concluded that it was a strange drink. It couldn't even compare to the magic panacea that the elders of the Northern Ice Palace had given him. Young said that this liquid also helped with indigestion. Kango thought it was unbelievable. After taking a bit of a break, Young Tai suggested heading back. Kango asked his interlocutor, "Does he really need to ride this device? Couldn't he do without a motorcycle?" Young Tai said that there are other means of transportation, but there is nothing better than a motorcycle for a courier. Kango told his companion that he could manage on his own 2 feet. Young T was upset. He had said that the delivery had to be fast, otherwise the noodles would swell up on the way and the dish would unmarketable. Also, customers get annoyed when the delivery is long. Kango said they don't have to worry about that. Kango said that he would get there faster on his own than on a motorcycle. Yini wondered how that was possible. Young faltered. After all, it wasn't that unbelievable. After all, Kong CEO was an awakened person by the looks of it. No less than a grade. Kong CEO told his interlocutor if he didn't believe it, he could demonstrate everything on the way back. UI was curious to check, and he agreed. Kango said he remembers the way to the restaurant, so he'll get there himself without a problem. Yuang Ti said that he certainly believed the person he was talking to, but just in case, Kong CEO might as well start running already. Yuang Ti, putting on his helmet, said if Kong CEO really overtook him, he would approve the delivery without transportation. Kong CEO got his nickname Flame Emperor for a reason. He has an incredible gift of the element of fire called the invisible body technique. As the name says, he became completely invisible when applying this skill and could get close to the enemy completely undetected and destroy him. After he achieved enlightenment, the protagonist continued to develop his invisible body technique. He called it an improved version of the invisible void body technique. The girls talking about work didn't notice some guy rushing past them. The young men resting on their lunch break also didn't notice Kong CEO rushing past them. This ability not only made our hero invisible, but also made it impossible to detect his presence. This ability also increased dexterity and speed to unbelievable levels. This new technique, along with his supreme martial arts prowess, earned him the title of God of Martial Arts, even more majestic than God of Annihilation. At this time, Young T was trying to get to his restaurant as fast as possible. He rode his motorcycle at high speed. After reaching his destination, Yu Sung took off his helmet and thought, where was Kango weaving in the tail? Yu T thought he was pushing full speed, taking it as a competition. What was his surprise when he entered the house? He was greeted at the threshold by his wife and his daughter, sitting on Kong CEO's shoulders. Kong CEO said for you to come in. You wondered, when did this guy have time to come here? Haeun said that daddy was late. Lim So Young stated that Kanjio had been home for 10 minutes. Yui was surprised. 10 minutes is unbelievable. Yank, as promised, allowed the guy to make deliveries without transportation. Yusani said that Kong Seo just has to pass the superpower test. I wonder what grade he is. Kong Seo, so that there was no doubt, said that he would pass the test. The young men went to a center where such tests are administered. Yuang Ti said as they finally arrived at the appointed place. Kong Seo was surprised to see so many people. However, Kong Seo, as an undocumented citizen who had come from the portal, had a lot of procedures to go through. Some documents had to be filled out. Kong Seo said he had no documents or residence registration. What should he write there? Sandy explained that he should write Kong in the last name line and the address of the restaurant next to his residence address. The bureaucracy took them a few more days. Yusi thought that he was very tired of this futile moving of papers, but he must see it through to the end, for Kong Seo is their savior. Kong Seo asked his friend, how exactly does this test happen? Yang said that during the test, you should place your hands on two balls slightly larger than your fist. An electric current will flow between them. The more electric shock he receives, the lower his level. If he can tolerate the electric shock well, then he is of high level. In other words, high-level awakened ones have high energy potential. Kango asked, is it good to have a high class? Yui replied that if Kong Seo turned out to have a high grade, his life would immediately change for the better. Some especially gifted people are valued as national treasures. In any case, a high class ensures a trouble-free existence. Kong Seo replied that he understood. If I were our hero, another man would be jumping for joy right now. However, Kong Seo, better than anyone else, knows that wealth and words are corruptible in ashes. Man has many passions and desires, and they are always insatiable. No matter how hard he tries, a lifetime is not enough to satisfy them. The protagonist has grown weary of the world of passions and has withdrawn to live in a remote mountain village. The emperor couldn't allow his peace to be disturbed again. It seemed that from now on he would have to hide his level more intensely. The young men parted ways. Young Tai wished his friend good luck. Lastly, Kong Seo turned around and asked his comrade which office the test was in. On the second floor, the elevator announced that the doors were opening. Kong Seo thought it was a self-moving box and had self-opening doors. It also talks. Our hero was greeted at the entrance and asked, is his name Kong Seo? The man said hello and said he was Park Soo, the head of the second department. He would take the testing. The young men said hello by their hands. Park Soo-yoon remarked that it had been a long time since they'd had isolationists tested. King Gale was restrained and focused. He tried not to lose sight of anything. The chief of the second division said that 10 years ago there was an increase in the number of isolationists. But gradually the government regained control of most of the territory, and these cases went down. Park Soo-yoon added that the North didn't stand a chance before and not even now. Kingo wondered what North is this man talking about. The young men came to a door that looked like the door of a safe, and Park Soo-yoon said that this is where the testing would take place. According to the grade received, the guy would get a referral for training. Opening the doors, the young men proceeded inside. The department head said that he had brought the test person, Kong Seo. The girl in the office said that they were ready to begin. Kong Seo saw the balloons that Yusin was talking about. Our hero needed to put his hands on these spheres. It is necessary to try not to move until the test is completed. Kong Seo said he agreed and it wouldn't be a problem for him. The girl announced that she was starting. Kong Seo pointed out that he really didn't feel any electric shock because his body successfully resisted. As Young Tai said, the stronger his resistance, the higher the level will be registered. Since our hero had his own plan of action, he decided he needed to do something about it. Kong Seo thought that he needed to restrain his inner energy. The girl cut off the tension and said that Mr. Kong Seo could remove his hands. Mr. Kong Seo's result is F-class. F-class means that he is an awakened person who has abilities slightly greater than the average person. Ordinary people are G-class according to the scientific classification. The department head thought that Kong Seo was an isolationist and he must have been hoping to get a high grade. He must be very disappointed that his grade is only slightly higher than normal people. Kango thought that he had made an oversight. He was trying to lower the resistance enough to get a G-class. Our hero thought he should have gotten smart right away and lowered the resistance to 0. The interlocutor told Kango not to get upset. His class does not determine his worth as a person. Internal security has an awakened support unit. This department deals with matters of high importance and secrecy. Operational groups within the department are divided by number. The first group is in charge of the highest secrecy cases and further down the line. The department head of the second group is in charge of isolationists. This is very responsible. Among the isolationists, there are often awakened ones of the higher classes. Even if this prevents them from doing their main work, they are obliged to organize the training of isolationists. A co-worker asked Park Sun, the head of the second department, is he recycling again? Park Yunsu wondered what brought such a busy first-team supervisor, Baek Yunho, to his department. Baek Yunho said he heard that an order had been signed to organize training for isolationists. He came to ask if his colleague would like to share a night meal with him on this occasion. It was also interesting to hear how the testing went in general. The interlocutor said that this is the first isolationist in many years. The superiors have not commented on this in any way, but they are clearly unhappy with the result. F-class isn't great, but it happens too. This guy is definitely going to have issues due to the isolationism he's experienced. He's better off in a high class. The department head said the interviewer mentioned food. He wouldn't mind a kimbab or something to kill the worm. Baek Yunho looked at his colleague meaningfully. He had another suggestion. Baek Yunho said he didn't come to his friend's house in the middle of the night to eat cold kimbab in supermarket. He only offers fresh chanjiang and gabaju because they need to eat well. The importance of being a foodie cannot be underestimated. Kango opened his eyes and pulled himself up in bed. Our hero thought that his friends in the spring pavilion were already awake, for it was almost 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a strange feeling, for he didn't feel sleepy. Maybe it was because he had learned so much yesterday. However, there were some nice moments the day before. The day before, after the day's instruction, was dinner. Our hero noted that there was a delicious roll on the plate in front of him. After cha jang mong, it was the only dish that surprised him so much. He thought he had tried every possible dish in his past life. Kango thought that he should do something about this fatigue. He should do some key breathing practice, but you can't do that here. Otherwise, people in this building would quickly realize that it's not F-class at all. He was almost declassified by that woman who came to eat at the restaurant. The association building is full of awakened people of different classes working here. There might even be some who have a much better aura sense than that woman. We have to be careful. Our hero wondered why those people felt that way about his training. The training itself, however, was far more meaningful and rewarding than he had realized. Last night, the department head was telling me that an S-class portal suddenly opened and hordes of monsters started coming out of it. A lot of civilians and awakened people got hurt. This incident is referred to as the Great Clash. Mankind managed to defeat the monsters, but the terrain where this war took place became uninhabitable. The area became known as the Ruinous Land. Even criminals do not try to take refuge in it. Kango thought as he stepped out of the portal. He had traveled to this very land and only then found the city. Kong Seo thought if even 3 or even 2 portals of such a class opened in this land, causing the earth to become cursed, the association wouldn't be able to handle it, and it would be a disaster. The day before, our hero had learned about the structure of society in this country. The society here is like a tower of ill-fitting parts. If he understands correctly, this tower will collapse even a minor shock. And in this situation, he appears. A martial artist of a very high level. A quiet and inconspicuous life is almost impossible for him, even if it is selfishness. He wants to live the rest of his life in peace by all means. He must not let anyone know about his real class. Kango felt a person with very pure energy approaching. It was Park Seo-1. Park Seo knocked on the door and inquired, "Mr. Kong Seo, are you awake?" The visitor entered. Our hero, looking at his appearance, noticed that Park Son was very tired. Kong Seo poured boiling water into a cup and scooped instant coffee out of a bag. Kong Seo offered to drink that coffee. Park Seo-1 says that Kong Seo surprises him a lot. He just learned it yesterday, and here he is already practicing brewing coffee the very next day. Our hero said it's all thanks to the department head's training. If he drinks this coffee, he will feel much better. Park Seo-1 took a few sips, and he actually felt better. The case chief thought, is this coffee really from the magic ingredients of the portal? It was as if he had slept soundly and woke up just now. Kango thought that this man was putting his soul into his training, so he decided to give him coffee as a thank you, which energized him. Kong Seo asked the department head what they would be studying today. Park Yin-soo replied that their first class was on canteen. The department head remarked that he had asked for a special menu to be prepared today. The dining room, even in the morning, was quite crowded. It reminded me of a field kitchen and military campaigns. The department head said that the job was a bit like war. So Kango was not far from the truth. But unlike the camping conditions, the portions are bigger. Park Yin-soo said that they can put as much food as they want on the tray. Kong Seo asked if the latecomers didn't have enough food for breakfast. The department head noticed that Mr. Kanjio is very considerate of others, but he can take it easy. If any dishes run out, the canteen staff will prepare more. To our hero, it seemed incredible. The department head remarked that they were living in an age of plenty after all the wars. Kong Seo said abundance is good, but the other thing that surprises him the most is this. Our hero said he is amazed by the speed of logistics and the amazing technology of canning and long-term food preservation. The department head thought this guy was an isolationist and just had his first day of training yesterday. But he's so strategic, it's unbelievable. Park Yin-soo said it's all thanks to their scientists. Thanks to scientists, they have a huge range of products available to them all the time. For office workers, the canteen is a place of rest and recreation. Kango thought that a meal was always the most enjoyable part of the day. The department head said that he rarely came to the canteen, usually having a quick snack. After the canteen, while in the elevator, the department head asked his interlocutor if he had enjoyed the food. Kango nodded affirmatively. The department head said it was fine and added that he gave a tour of the dining room theme. He thinks that's enough for today. Kango thought that they would still have classes. The department head said there's no way to get this guy in. They're still scheduled to have a course on a gym, but it's not necessary for the F class. You can skip it. Being an F class means you have less responsibility. The department head thought he was cutting classes because of his main job. He is forced to deceive a naive isolationist who does not yet understand anything. Eventually, the young men came to the gym. Anyone with an awakened person's ID card has the right to work out here. Park Yin-soo added that anyone can come here regardless of their class. Kong Seo saw that both boys and girls were practicing here. Any awakened person can use this room. Only criminal imposters will not be allowed in here. Park Yin-soo noted that if Kong Seo wanted to train here, that would be fine. However, our hero refused. Park Yin-soo remarked that it was completely free. He could explain what the gym was for, and it would be clear how useful it was. Kong Seo thanked the interviewer and said he didn't think he needed the training. Park Yin-soo asked what the guy's future plans are. Kong Seo saw Yusu and I, and Lim, So Young off to the side, quite by chance. They said hello. Kong Seo thanked his friends for going out of their way to help him. You asked what grade Kong Seo was in. Kong Seo showed his hunter's license and said he had a class F. Lim So-yin was surprised because Kango wanted to get a G grade like a normal person. Kango replied that he couldn't contain his inner energy in time and got a higher grade than he wanted. Young Tai said that it wasn't bad at all because his abilities couldn't be overlooked and an ordinary person couldn't have them. It would attract attention. Kango asked his interlocutors, is he really that suspicious? Lim Young admitted that he was. Kango was under surveillance from the top floor. The department head asked a co-worker if he noticed anything else unusual about this guy. Park Yin-soo said he has incredible intelligence and learning ability. There's nothing else unusual about him. To be precise, this guy is very savvy. If a concept is explained to him, he immediately understands how to apply it in different areas. He is a quick learner and is very good at putting what he has learned into practice. The supervisor said that the Group 1 law enforcement unit told him something much more interesting. They said that his movements and sense of balance were not typical of his class. They even had doubts about whether the testing apparatus was damaged. The interlocutor said that after testing, the unit passed another inspection and was fine. This guy was given the class fairly. The investigator remarked that everyone can evolve to the next level, but this guy would never grow to middle class, much less upper class. Does everyone pay so much attention to him because they haven't had an isolationist come in for years? Park Yin-soo said that he frankly expected a lot more from this guy, and he's disappointed. In the future, this guy would like to help his friend in his restaurant business. Yu held out a smartphone to Kong Seo and said that with this he would be able to communicate at any time. Yu said he bought this gadget with the isolationist allowance. Is there anything else Kong Seo needs? Kong Seo said that he had been pondering whether he should cut his hair. He hadn't noticed it before, but lately he had noticed that most men in this civilization wear their hair cut short. He doesn't want to stand out. Lim So Young said it was a wonderful idea. What kind of haircut does he want? Kong Seo seems to like short hair. Yini said that any haircut would suit that guy. Yes stated that he had to prepare the ingredients for the next day's meal. He thought that when his spouse starts talking about fashion, it's like the lights go out. He believes that Kong Seo can do it. Lim So Young said she was ready to take their guest to the barber shop. On the way out of the barber shop, Yuang Ti said that this guy had been changed so much that he could now be seen from a mile away. Young Ti suddenly began to feel some strange, prickly feeling. It was as if the whole street was looking at this guy. The girls were really paying attention to Kanjio. Who's that handsome guy? He must be some kind of actor. That guy has model looks. Girls came up to our hero and asked him for an autograph and to make a joint photo. UT intervened in the conversation and told the girls to excuse them. They had their own plans. Yes said that this is not some movie star, but a simple guy. No need to ask for his autograph. Kong Seo wondered why he couldn't take pictures with these girls and why this girl wanted his autograph. Yusu and I said that Kong Seo is so handsome that the girls mistook him for a celebrity. And if you let them take a picture together, they will immediately put the photo on the internet. And if people start sharing his pictures, he'll be recognized on the street, and that will bring nothing but trouble. This isn't the life Kango wanted, is it? Kang Seo thought that Young was right, and he would have to be careful. He shouldn't stand out too much in the crowd. The next day came. There were a lot of orders in the restaurant. There were no free tables. So many people ordered Chanjiang. Our hero served the tables this time. The restaurant's main customers were girls. Kang Seo wished each of them a pleasant appetite. Kang Seo took the menu and headed to a table that also had girls at it. The girl said she had decided on her order and asked for 2 sha jiang and seafood udon. Kang Seo told the girls to wait. He repeated the order, and Yui, who was in the kitchen, said the order was accepted. Some of the customers were also ordering gabaju. Kango wrote everything down in his notebook. The work was in full swing. Visitors have commented that the cuisine in this restaurant is excellent. Why didn't they know about it before? One of the girls said that she would be coming here every day in the near future. Her friend agreed and added that she would order Chanjiang here every day. One of the girls approached the receptionist and asked if they had any seats available. Lim, So Young replied that they were full right now. The girl was upset because she wanted to eat so much. A hungry customer of the restaurant said that in that case, she was willing to wait. Another girl also agreed to join the queue. Lim Soyong looked at the line of young people wanting to taste their dishes and told the dear guests that they were almost out of food in the kitchen. They had better come back tomorrow. Many upset faces appeared in front of the administrator. Some of them were even crying. Are they not allowed to eat at this restaurant today? Suddenly, someone said loudly for people to disperse. The girl went to the receptionist and said her name was Kim Jian. She came for a job interview. Lim So-young said hello and said that she was very happy to see the girl. The applicant said her name is Kim Jian. She's 23 years old, a college graduate, and is still looking for a job at her major. Lim So-young said that they were short-handed at the restaurant right now, so they decided to hire another part-time worker. The girl responded to the ad very quickly. Kim Ji-yin can rest assured she has already been hired. Kim Ji-yin stated that Spring Pavilion Restaurant is a very famous establishment, and she wants to work here. The receptionist was surprised. Is the restaurant really famous? Kim Jun said that this handsome young man attracts the entire female population here. The new employee inquired about where she should start. Looking at Kim Ji-yin, Kang Seo thought that she was a very interesting girl. She has a very strong aura. Our hero realized that people with high superpowers live well in this civilization. They should be valued, and they should have a different quality of life than regular people. Lim So-young has assigned the new employee to pack portions of pickled radishes. She also has to deliver and take orders. Lim So-young asked that the courier deliver an order according to this order list. All the food. Kango agreed and said he would be back soon. Our hero put on a motorcycle helmet and said he was going on a delivery. Yusani asked if Jian could help him with packing the portions. Jian thought that was strange. When she'd heard about this place, it said that there weren't many visitors. After a while, Kango asked Jiona if she was busy. The girl asked if all the orders had been delivered. Kango replied that it wasn't difficult. The addresses were only a stone's throw away. Jian says the guy can pick up the new orders. The cha jiang and zhang are already packed. Kang Seo picked up the order packet and said he was off. After a while, Kang Seo came back with an empty box. He said that all the orders had been delivered. Yosu and I told the guy to take a seat at the table. For lunchtime, he had already delivered everything. Kang Seo asked Lim So-young if they were already preparing for the evening load-in. Lim So-young confirmed and then immediately realized it was time to pick up Ha-yun from daycare. Jian asked Lim So-young if she was a girl. Lim So-young confirmed and added that she was 5 years old. Lim So-young asked our hero to pick up Ha-yun from daycare. They're facing an evening rush of customers, and they barely have time to prepare the groceries. Jiona said that she would like to meet Ha-yun, too. Should she go with Kang Seo, too? Lim So-young agreed. She and her husband can do it alone. The young people moved along the set route under umbrellas because of the heavy rain. Jian introduced herself to our hero again and asked if she could call him Kang Seo. Kang Seo said he is 35 years old, but the girl can call him whatever she wants. Jiona was surprised and said that the guy doesn't look 35 at all. Kang Seo noticed that a lot of people say that to him. Kango apologized for the modest question, but why did the girl decide to get a job at the Spring Pavilion? With her abilities, one should look for another job. Jiona noticed that she didn't actually have powers. Jian added that she didn't have any evil purposes either. She just wanted to look at the young man. Jiona pointed her finger forward and said there was someone at the door. The doors of the kindergarten actually opened in front of the young people, and the teacher said that the little girl had come. Han was happy that Kango and LT, Unk and GT's uncle had come for her. Han waved at her uncle and greeted him. Kang Seo asked if the girl had a good time here. Han replied that she was interested. Hound told the teacher that it was her uncle. The teacher was surprised. The teacher said Han told her a lot about her uncle. The teacher looked at our hero and frightened asked if he was all right. The educator asked. The uncle's companion must be his spouse. Seeing Giant, the kindergarten teacher wondered, how did Ji end up here? Ji covered the teacher's mouth and told Sora to be quiet. Sora asked, what about Ji's job in the guild? Junna told Sora not to say too much. This girl's parents think she's just a normal person. She's actually on a mission. We should pretend they don't know each other. Hound and the kindergarten teacher said goodbye until the next day. Kango also said goodbye to Sora. Kango, Junna, and Hound, each with their own umbrella, were returning home. Kong Seo asked Giant, is the kindergarten teacher her friend? The girl laughed in response. She said that they were really friends. Kong Seo said that he realized they were friends. Why didn't they talk? Junna replied that they already see each other too often. The girl said that walking under an umbrella in the rain is really nice. Hound said that she likes to walk under the umbrella, too, and added that the beautiful aunt also likes to walk in the rain. June smiled and said she liked walking with her uncle better. Kong Seo asked if it was hard for Hound to carry her umbrella. Hound replied that it's not hard for her. She wants to carry it herself. Kong Seo warned the girl. If she wanted his help, she should tell him. While passing by an underpass, Hound noticed something and told her uncle to see who was there. Hound turned around and ran in that direction, shouting for her uncle to see what it was. Hound stopped and said that it was beeping. Kong Si walked over and asked, is it really a squeak? It must be a mouse. But why is it getting wet in the rain? Giant said, it's not a simple mouse. It's a rodent called a dungeon rat. Kong Seo took the dungeon rat in his arms. The animal was frozen and wet. Kango asked, is the dungeon rat a magical beast? Gi replied that this rat dwells in the dungeon, but is not a magical creature. Unlike magical beasts, it has no animosity towards humans and does not try to harm them. This rat has a keen sense of its natural enemies, magical beasts and monsters. Due to its skills and cute exterior, this animal has become a favorite among hunters. Many domesticate them. She must have gone into the portal with her master, and they had an accident. When she was wounded, she somehow made it out of the portal. Hound shouted that she didn't want this rat to die. Can't they cure it? Kango said that this animal would not be easy to save. Han said that this rat is still alive. If it's breathing, they shouldn't abandon it. The protagonist thought how blind he was. He said she was going to die anyway, even though she was still breathing. After much doubt, he decided that all life was certainly valuable. Otherwise, how would he be different from himself in the past from the cold-blooded assassin he was? Kong Seo agreed with the girl and said they would take the rat with them. Giant told the girl that they would rush to the restaurant and try to save that rat. Kong Seo noticed that the animal was in a very bad condition, barely breathing. If they don't hurry, they might be too late. Han was afraid of what to do. Kango scanned the rat and determined that its breathing and heartbeat were weak. It's like it's fading away. Kango wondered if he should breathe life into her. June watched the guy carefully. When Hound and the adults returned to the restaurant, she immediately ran to her parents. So you wonder why the girl was crying. Hound shouted that they needed help. The girl's parents looked at the beast that was in Kong Seo and LT, Unk and GT's hands in surprise. Yuzant wondered where they found the dungeon rat. Kong Seo replied that they found the rat in the dungeon. Sandy inquired, what's wrong with her? She looks like she was attacked in a portal not far from here. She can barely breathe. Han responsibly declared that she would rescue this rat and take it for herself. Lim So-young tried to explain to her daughter that it wasn't a hamster. It was a dungeon rat. If they didn't find it in the dungeon inside the portal, but outside, it must have an owner. Its owner is probably already searching for it and is worried about it. Kango said they should treat the rat first. Yenny said they should look for a veterinary clinic nearby. Two young men entered the restaurant and said hello. The director of the restaurant greeted the visitors. Young said for Mr. Beck and his companion to sit down. Didn't they come to eat? Mr. Beck was surprised to see a dungeon rat. The principal said his daughter found this rat outside. It looks like it's hurt. Mr. Beck looked at the beast and said it looked like this rat was pretty badly injured. Mr. Beck took the rat in his arms and said he would try to help. Mr. Beck said the animal received very professional first aid. She's in much better condition than she appeared at first glance. Fortunately, this rat is out of critical condition. He'll just add some of his energy. When our hero first saw this man, he immediately realized that he was gifted, but he had no idea that he had such mystical power in his hands. He gathers energy from the environment and turns it into healing power. He must be a healer. Mr. Beck's colleague said it was their known hitter. The famous hitman gave the animal to the girl in his hands. Ayun. Mr. Beck said this little girl was very lucky. Kango thought that the strength of these awakened ones was truly incredible. Yuana asked his daughter what she was doing. Hound replied that she was looking after the rat. She did seem to be feeling better. Hound shouted that the beast had moved. Yui took a closer look and agreed with his daughter. The observers decided that the rat might want milk by pouring a drink into its bowl. Yusentai told his daughter that the rat was eating and it was time for her to wash her hands and start eating. Suddenly, the animal began to thrash and squeak. What's wrong with him? The adults thought. Kong Seo thought the rat wanted to tell him something. Yusentai wondered what's with the animal. Kong Seo explained that the animal wanted to show him something and was leading him somewhere. The rat couldn't calm down and kept thrashing around. It definitely wanted to go somewhere. Kango thought that it was a very intelligent animal. It was strange that it didn't have a master. Something must have happened. Yusai suggested that his friend go and check things out. Yuani said that Kong Seo is the one who is the speed walker. He just has to check to see what happened. Yes said that they can't ignore that signal. Otherwise, his daughter would be upset. Han looked at Uncle Kong Seo. She hoped he would help her in that rat. Our hero agrees for Han's sake, and add that there's something that's been bugging him too. Kong Seo saw a strange energy around this animal. Young didn't understand what kind of energy he was talking about. Kong Seo noticed that he had seen this kind of energy before, but he didn't understand what it was yet. Kong Seo offered to show the rat the way, for the beast knows where to go. Yenny told his friend to be careful. Han wished her uncle good luck. Kong Seo walked out of the building and quickly headed in the direction where the strange energy was oozing from. After arriving at the place, Kanjio thought that it looked like the portal he had come out of in this world. It was indeed a portal. In the portal, the monsters continued to advance and attack the fighters of the invisible front. There were only 4 people left, and the number of monsters didn't decrease. The leader of the group apologized and said she would soon be exhausted and could no longer maintain the barrier. Her coworker thought that was really the end of it. He was glad he had the chance to work with these guys. The young people started saying goodbye to each other and joking around as much as they could in the situation. The group commander thought that only an S-rank hunter could save them, but that was only pipe dreams. Suddenly, the people listened and heard the squeak of a small animal. Something has happened to the monsters. Some unknown force has begun their systematic destruction. When the light appeared, the people saw that all the monsters had been destroyed.